part would be if you're using the 15-minute, the 5-minute to find a range, then the time frames you're going to use to stack trades would be seconds, 1 minute, and 5 minute. Okay, you're going to use these time frames to stack trades. Now, when I say these time frames, right, you're going to be using the POIs, the strong highs, everything that you learned so far, but within these time frames. Okay. Now, when you're using, let's say, the daily and all the way, down to the 4-hour and 1 hour, you're going to be using the 15-minute and the 5-minute to stack your trades. Okay. Now, this is not a strict set of rules. This is just to help you find the edge, just to help you understand it and see it clear. Go and back test this, and eventually you'll be able to see that sometimes you can use, even the 1 minute to scale in trades. But this is just not a set of rules, just a system, let's say, to help you better understand on stacking trades. Okay. And eventually with time, you will find your own fit. Let's say that. But this is what I recommend just to get started. All right. So, and again, why am I saying this? Because the market is fractal. I'll be lying to you if there's a certain time frames that we use. We use all of them, but that's the one I recommend to get started with. So the way it works is pretty straightforward. And let's say we have a strong low, and then we come into a point of interest up here. Let's say this is the 1 hour POI, all right? So price coming up, all right, comes into here. Cool. And then obviously we have direct and confirmation entry, right? So now the way you're going to stack, you're not going to look to stack instantly in here. You want first price to change. Where is my? You want price to change the structure. In other words, break structure, right? You want price to break structure, right? So once price breaks structure, and then you get in your confirmation entry, then that's when you start to stack. That's when you start to stack trades to the downside. Now your overall target is going to be this. And let's say the white, this right here, this white structure, let's say it's the 15-minute, right? So price broke structure, cancel the POI, and then that's your confirmation entry right here. Confirmation entry. Oh, let me just entry right there. Now you can start to stack trades, right? It's not because this is a 15-minute range, 15-minute structure, all right? We can start using the 5 and the 1 minute second time frame. So now this confirmation entry, most likely you got it on the 1 minute. Most likely you got it on the 1 minute, let's say, all right? 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute, right? If you use those, same thing, but on the minute time frame, right? So most likely you got it on the 1 minute. So that means that you can use the seconds and the 1 minute to look for entries here. So your first target is going to obviously be the external of the current range that you're in. So you're going to stack trades until it reaches that low. Okay. Now let's get into some more detail here. When price is making that push, if you are in the right leg, and by the leg, I mean this, higher, high, higher, low, higher, higher, low, right? If you're in the right leg, in the right push, right? If you're following the correct order flow, every strong low, let's say here, would be respected. It is not going to break. It should not violate. If it violates, then eventually something else is going on in the bigger picture that you did not see. So that means that you are not in the right direction. That means this leg is just not the right one that you were looking for, right? If you're going the right direction, price should just come down, respecting every strong high. In this case, it should just respect. It should never break above. If it breaks above, then apparently that bigger leg will be known as a what? Failure swing, because we get a opposite Quasimodo. Are you starting to see how the failure swing now makes sense? So if this fails and you're stacking trades here, next thing you know, it breaks a strong high, then that tells you in the bigger picture that's a failure swing. That's what I mentioned, that you just need an opposite directional break to confirm that's a failure swing. So if you're in the right leg, then every high, every strong high and every strong low will be respected. So all you got to do is just scale in on the smaller time frame. Just scale in, and every strong high should be respected. Now your stop loss will always be 2 pips minimum. Do not go lower than that. There will be some times where you will have a 1 pip opportunity, but don't do that. I highly recommend you stay with the 2 pip. All right. So all you're gonna do is just scale in until the external, if, obviously if you're approaching, until the external range is complete. Until the range cycle is complete. So we're just gonna scale in on every strong low and every strong high, depending on your overall the direction of bias. It's as simple as that. The market is fractal. So everything you do on the daily, the weekly, 15, 5 minute, and the 1 minute. Everything on the 1 minute, weekly, monthly, same thing. Don't overcomplicate this. That's how you stack trade, that's how you scale in. Right? So once we took out this 1 minute low, what can we expect? If we took out this 1 minute structure, then eventually we can expect price. So let's say they took out internal liquidity of a 15 minute. Price dropping down. So you took out internal liquidity, right? Let's say that your first target was here. And now this is now internal liquidity, which can obviously be another target. That's explained in the targets area. So because we have that, and then just below it, let's say we have an unmitigated POI, then you can expect price to make some type of retracement. So eventually it's gonna break that, because now you have a range from here to here. So you have to be aware of your bigger range. Your bigger range can be the 1 minute, can be the 15 minute, depending on what range is currently priced in. Right? So now you are combining everything from the higher time frame to the lower time frame. And you got to be aware of every little detail of every single move. Because now all of these, right? Now all these strong highs inside the range will now become liquidity. They'll get taken. That's how internal liquidity is formed. They were all protected. And eventually at some point, they're all going to become liquidity. That's where the market comes and turns. That's what you have to know. Where's the market coming from and where's it coming to? We need to know everything, every detail possible to understand. So price comes into a POI, let's say, and it fulfills its POI. Let me delete this. So now you know your overall target, which is down here, right? Of this current range from A to B. Now this is A, well, this will now be from A to B. So now the cycle continues and we start to scale in again until here. I recommend you fully exit at the external of every range. I recommend that. All right, that's what I do. So if you want to be risky, and feel free to hold until it gets here, sure. All right, well, I recommend that. Now there is different scenarios. The market is not going to always have obstacles in the way. The range is not going to always have obstacles in the way, right? So let's say you stack here, here, here. This can keep going. until it hits a 15-minute. That can keep going because there's no obstacles in the way. And because there's no obstacles in the way, price can keep on just dropping until it fulfills, let's say, the 15-minute range. There is too many scenarios for me to explain or to draw out here. Way too many scenarios, but this is the basic understanding. This is how we stack. This is how we enter multiple positions. Scale in, just like this, going with the auto flow. But now we're doing the same thing that we did on the 15, 4 hour, 1 hour. Now we're doing it on the 5 minute, 1 minute, seconds. The same rules apply. Same rules apply, right? Same rules, but now you're on a smaller scale. So now you need a better eye, let's say. Every detail counts now. So, right? So, and of course, don't go into the charts instantly and try to trade this. Go on back to this first. Now, if you're still struggling with the higher time frames, then eventually you want to start doing that first, right? Start to understand the higher time frames, and then eventually try to come down to lower time frames and do the same thing. It's advanced for a reason, right? Now, for those of you that have experience already, y'all be able to understand this and catch on pretty quick. But you got to be aware of the obstacles in the way, because you're stacking, and you don't exit, and you're trying to exit all the way down here, right here, right? But then there's, let's say, liquidity and a POI that based on what I taught you, price can come into here and give you a reaction. You know that. So let's not be greedy, and let's just accept the fact that, yeah, price can react from here. So that's why I say exit on the external range. Whatever range you're in, I recommend you always exit on that low if you're stacking. Now, of course, right, it's different when you are entering on a, let's say a 15-minute strong high, and then you have a 4 hour low to hit, right? That is now, holding it for a swing trade until that 4 hours hit. But again, if there's obstacles, we know if there's an obstacle here, we know that this can happen. Then it takes out a strong high. Oh, what happened? Well, we just came into fulfill the bigger picture. So we have to know where to exit. It's very important to know where to exit. And I gave you guys a set of rules of where to exit. So again, if we still don't understand the higher time frame, or in other words, the basic stuff, first start to understand that, and then slowly you will get into the point of stacking trade with confidence. This would take a lot of back testing, because you gotta have the confidence to really do this, right? So now that's the lower time frame. It's literally simple as that. Now, and what if a strong high is violated on the lower time frames? I just mentioned it. You either saw something wrong, you forgot something, you missed something on the higher time frame. There is always an answer. There's always a reason. Just look at the charts. All right, there's going to always be one. So if we are in the 15-minute, and let's say we have a strong high, and then we have our target right here, right? And then we have, let's say, comes into here, and let's say this is the 4 hour. What's the best time frame? What's the most logical thing to do? Drop down a few time frames, 1, 2, 3, and let's say this is a 15-minute. So first we wait for it to break, right? And then we need obviously to confirm. So, okay, then the stacking begins. So this is a 15-minute strong high. We enter there first. We enter here again, the 15-minute POS. We enter here again, the 15-minute. A continuation until we fulfill the overall move. If this is a 4-hour, the purple is the daily. So the same thing we did here. Now here, it looks much more simple, right? Oh, 4-hour, 15-minute daily. Yeah, it just sounds more simple, but it's the same thing that we're going to be doing in the lower time frame. Now, I broke it down in 2 different sets. Like I said, for the smaller time frame ranges, I gave you guys the time frames to start off with, start experimenting with. And then for the higher time frames and whatnot, I gave you guys a set of time frames to start experimenting with. Because the market is fractal, there's no exact time frames. It's just, what you're comfortable with. So the same thing, stack, stack, stack. Some ranges may be longer than others. Some may be shorter, etc. Now, like I said, there's so many scenarios. This is just the basic understanding of it. But like this is exactly how you stack trades. The same thing, just replace this with the 1 minute, 5 minute, 15 minute. We do it the same way. So now, like I mentioned, from those time frames on the smaller side, like I mentioned in the beginning, the 2 different sets, the first set and the second set, right? We use everything the same way, even the candles. So if you're using the seconds, 1 and 5 minute, then where do you think you want to start off to identify a order block or a candle? The 5 minute. That's logical. And then the 1 minute. And then eventually internal seconds. Right? Maybe the 5 minute, there's nothing. It's a big wick. Drop down to the 1 minute. There's an order block. Seconds time frame. Entry. The same thing. Same thing. You don't believe me, back test this and you're gonna see that it works. Wonderful. Right? And then obviously on the higher time frames, you already know how to do that. But yeah, guys, that is how you stack trades. That is the understanding of stacking trades. Like I mentioned, the market is fractal. And you can do so much with knowing this information. There's no limit. There's no limit. Applying the same rules I'm currently showing you here on any chart, on any time frame, it works. Just practice, you're gonna see that it works. Right. But that's it for now, guys. Like always, any questions, you can let me know or the community know. Other than that, on to the next one.